Aerospacers, maayong hapon. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sir Ed.
Good afternoon, Sir Ed.
I welcome everyone to this historic, no, a privileged moment in our webinar this afternoon. And before opening formally this activity, I'd like to ask you, the students, how was your first week of class after we resumed from a week-long midterm break? Are you okay, Ra? Na-enjoy ba mo?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. At some point, it was actually refreshing to us students and as well as teachers.
Labi na og pag-break, nagbalik mo sa inyong ex, no? That is an extra, that's an extra points, no? Okay, so I hope you were able to rejuvenate and refresh your energies and enthusiasm. So this afternoon, guys, our distinguished speakers will be, which will be introduced later in full, will be sharing to us about goal setting. And speaking of goal setting, this reminded me of how John Lennon answered when one of his teachers asked him in the class assignment what he wants to become when he grows up. When John Lennon eagerly replied, "Teacher, I want to be happy when I grow up," his teacher told John Lennon that he did not understand the assignment. And John Lennon replied that the teacher did not understand life. In that scenario, guys, I wanted to open this activity, this webinar, that there's a supreme purpose in life of which all other purposes are or should be subsumed, no? And I believe it is to be happy. But of course, what happiness is remains to be qualified, no, and described and validated. So with that scenario with John Lennon and his teacher, I welcome you all and formally open this webinar. And together, we will learn through our distinguished speaker and sharer everything about setting a goal. So just relax and have an afternoon of insights and learning. And as we try to contemplate, no, on the goals we have in life and understand the significance of having one, especially in our times in the midst of a pandemic, and we'll be learning a lot from the insights and help of our speaker and sharer this afternoon. And let me share you one more line. No? Let this line reverberate in our hearts. It's a line coming from Fyodor Dostoevsky, the greatest Russian novelist, when he said, "The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for." The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for. So thank you very much. Welcome to IAU, all the participants. So this is now formally opened.
Thank you so much, Sir Taghoy, for your opening remarks. So I hope everybody is ready to set their goals straight, no? So Diane?
Now let us move forward. So introducing our speakers for today, let us welcome the IAU Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Unit Coordinator, Mr. Adrian Joseph Balatayo Adaptar. Sir Adrian?
Thank you, Diane. So good afternoon once again, everyone, our dear aerospacers. Thank you so much for attending and taking time to join us in this webinar. So it is now my pleasure to introduce our resource speaker for this afternoon. So she is a mother of an adorable daughter, a dedicated and loving wife to Romeo Ocampo Jr., and she is the president of Milestones and Breakthroughs Consultancy and financial consultant, a $1 Million Round Table member, Pro-Life UK, pastoral leader, and Servants of the Living God community preacher. Preacher also of Pathways of Hope and Hope Giver. With an impressive background, everyone, it is not surprising that she is one of the prominent motivational speakers in the Visayas region. So let's welcome Miss Vanessa S. Ocampo. Big round of applause, please.
Thank you, Sir Adrian. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sir Ed, for that really motivational opening remarks. I'd also like to thank Ma'am Luz Kahayagan for this opportunity to speak with all of you this afternoon, and also hello to Diane, who's co-hosting with Miss Luz. It's such a wonderful opportunity to be back to IAU. In the recent past, I had the chance to really go to your college, your institution many years back to do team building for your faculty, and also to do career planning several times for the graduating students of IAU. And now the world has really become borderless. I'm from Ormoc, Leyte, and I'm doing this talk this afternoon for the beautiful people of Cebu. No? And it's such a blessed opportunity to be here with you today. Well, to begin our afternoon, they already mentioned what the title of my presentation is for this afternoon. It's going to be On Your Mark, Get Set, Goal. Before I dive into my presentation, do you know how many days are left before 2021? For those who are in the Zoom room, you could actually type your answers in the chat box if you know the number of days left before we end this year, 2020. The one who gives me the correct answer will get a prize from the birthday girl herself, Ma'am Luz. No? So just a joke, no?
Gcash.
So how many days do you think before 2021? Can I see answers on the chat room? There's someone said 49 from Judeline. Who else? Just Judeline? There, Miaka Talato, good afternoon to you. She said 48 and she just gave me the correct answer. I don't know, Miaka, what you did. Maybe you checked your calendar, or the easiest way is to actually Google it. John Ray de los Santos said it's 47. Now, how many days do you think left before Christmas Day? So there, can I see how many days left before Christmas Day? Oh, I just got the right answer. Thank you, Ian Edward. 41 days before Christmas. Is this talk this afternoon a countdown to the number of days left for Christmas or to the new year? Definitely no, but it reminds us of one thing. That one thing is that in just a few weeks, it's going to be 2021. And 2020 is going to be, we call it, it's a wrap, no? So therefore, I think our topic this afternoon on setting our goal is really relevant, no? Something that's relatable. But maybe you are telling yourself right now, is it really worth setting a goal for 2021 when we know that our lives are kind of on hold because of the pandemic? Don't worry. This afternoon, you will learn many things, not only to set your goals, but also to reset your goal during a time of crisis. Let me begin. By the way, for those, I think I only know Luz here. I'm really from Manila. I got married to somebody from Ormoc, Leyte, an Ormocanon. And so I speak Bisaya, Tagalog, and English. And I might deliver this presentation this afternoon in Bisaya, English, and a little Tagalog, if that is fine with you. This year started with me refreshing my dream board. I take my dream board seriously. I do have a dream board that I keep. But particularly for 2020, I decided to refresh it. Mainly because I also want to teach my daughter, who was 7-year-old at that time, in January, to also make her own dream board. So together, we made a dream board. And 2019 was a very good year for me. So I said 2020 can be a better year for me. So I was very intentional in making sure I achieve my goals for 2020. So somehow I can relate to this photo of a sporting event that you can see in your screen right now. Somehow, this is really what I said to myself. On your mark, get set, goal. I was really serious about reaching my goals for this year. I'm an insurance agent. I'm a member of the $1 Million Round Table. It's the finest organization in the whole of the insurance industry, not only in the Philippines, but worldwide. And I finished really strong in 2019 that I said 2020 could be a stronger year for me. As a training consultant, I also own a company, Milestones and Breakthroughs Consultancy. I'm a training consultant, and the year 2020 also started very well with me closing one of the biggest companies here in Leyte that happens to also have offices in Manila. And so really, it was a good year. So I was very intentional about reaching my goals. But all of us know what happened, right? COVID-19 did not stop in 2019, but crossed over and wreaked havoc in 2020. So we experienced lockdowns, community quarantines, isolations in March of 2020. So it was unexpected. My first 3 months, the first quarter of 2020, was what I expected it to be in terms of achieving my goals. But when April came, it seemed like I thought we will be staying home for a few days. It was good news for all of us because that means extended rest for us. But it turned out it's not going to be a few days. It's not going to be a few weeks, not even a few months. You could count from the time we were staying at home or even locked down in community quarantine since March, and we look back and see it's been a lot of months already. It seems like our lives are on hold. And so many of us reacted this way during the beginning of the quarantine. No? We feel like we won in the lottery. We have so much time in our hands. And so therefore, I could relax. So many used their time, many women here could probably relate, use their time to do movie marathon or series marathon, watching Korean novela. Many subscribed to Netflix. No? Many found it a good opportunity. We know this. Many became plantito and plantita. No? Just to be able to do something worthwhile. And for many students, according to a study, this was an opportunity for them to spend more time doing social networking and gaming. Doing a lot of social networking and gaming. Mobile Legends, Dota, the more popular ones are Call of Duty, Pokemon Sword, etc. We found it as an opportunity to pursue hobbies that will relax us. But we realized we cannot be spending the next couple of weeks and months just doing unproductive things. So it was a realization that came to me that the halt is actually a good time for us to really reflect, to stop and think about our lives. We realize that we can only do so much telenovela and gaming because at the end of the day, we take a look at our lives and see that it's not the meaning we're looking for. It's not the kind of contribution that we want to give the world. And so, me personally, what I did was to really reflect and ask this question. I said to myself, should I be doing more to improve myself or my life with the extra time that I have now? I saw it as an opportunity to set new goals. So as I've mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, I have clear goals for 2020. But I revisited my goals and found out that some of them may not work out during this time of pandemic. So it was, in fact, an opportunity for me to reset my goals, to reestablish priorities, and to really set new goals for myself. Now, in a couple of seconds, I will share with you some of the new goals that were not in my dream board, because the dream board, when I made it, I did not consider the coronavirus. I did not think that something very far away in Wuhan, China would one day come to my little hometown here in Ormoc City. So that was not part of the pros and cons when I did my 2020 goals. So I had to reset. I had to reset my goals so that at the end of the day, I could tell myself this 2020, I was able to do something worthwhile. I was able to contribute. My life was meaningful. Here are some of the new goals that I set for myself when I saw that my circumstances changed. The first goal was to leave more room for study. I've been wanting to allot time for studying, for personal study. One where I could actually sit in my favorite chair at home and get a book that I could study, get a topic that I could really take a look into to grow more in knowledge. I've been wanting to do that. But because of my busy schedule as a mother, as an insurance agent, a training consultant, I also am a center director of a therapy and tutorial center, there was little room left for studying. And so the first goal I set, restarting my goal, was to once and for all do something that I have been wanting to do, and that is to study. So I did Bible study for my personal time. I subscribed in Harvard Review magazine, no, to get to know the latest trends in business. And really, from March until today, as I speak to you, I can say I have been growing in knowledge. I have been growing in understanding. I have been growing in wisdom. I have been using the last couple of months to learn new things. Now, most of you who are listening to me right now are students. What is the root word for the word student? We know the root word, right? It's study. So as students, your main preoccupation should be that of studying, right? And not gaming or social networking. Those are things that you can do during your free time, but the bulk of your time should be spent in studying. So after, say, an online class or maybe even doing asynchronous modules, you have free time on your hands. Our usual reflex, the young people right now, the usual reflex is to get your phone, to get your gadget, and become an antisocial scroller. So you just keep on scrolling. You may be at home with your family, but not really relating with them, because the moment you get a free time, you spend it right away in anti-social scrolling. Well, I propose today, as you listen, student, study. Your main preoccupation this entire school year is to learn whatever you can that will be helpful in the near future. So that's the first goal I set for myself. The second goal was really unexpected for me. When 2020 came, I was excited to reach my own personal and career goals. In fact, very excited that my daughter, who is grade 2 now, will have more time in school. So that means she having more time in school would mean for me having more time at work. But we know what happened, right? As you listen today, you students are in the comfort of your home. Somehow, you are homeschooling. And this is a surprise for all of us, not only for a mother like me. And so if we do not know how to manage our time, then we will not be able to maximize the opportunity for learning. Being at home, learning has many benefits. First, we own our time. If we are conscientious about the way we manage our time, do you realize that our setup right now allows us to be more productive than ever before? So this is such a gift for us, right? The time, well, of course, we miss interaction with our friends, with our barkada in school, where we get to see them face to face, but there is no choice. This is our setup right now, and we want to be able to maximize this gift that was given to us right now. It's really just a matter of perspective. We might want to look at this COVID as a curse, or try to look for silver linings, for blessings that this COVID-19 holds. No more COVID-19, no COVID 2020 na. Now let me move on. So because of the free time in our hands, I said to myself, time to really reassess my goals for 2020 and take a look at my talents and my skills. You know, as you listen to me now, I'm 49 years old. Many of you listening are much younger than I do. I must be the age of your parents. But at this age, I am still really very open to discovering new talents, discovering new skills. You might be half of my age. Some of you may be, 18, 19? There's a whole lot of opportunities that you could actually seize. And there are just so many things that you could still discover in yourself, as long as you really put time to really do some introspection, some self-reflection, and see where you're really good at. We've heard a lot about borderless world. In the past, how can you say it's a borderless world when, because of the pandemic, all of us could not travel? But that is the opportunity presented to us. I cannot believe in this pandemic, in the past months, I have been to US, Canada, India, Australia. How is that possible? In Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Singapore, how is that possible? Because our world is borderless. I am able to reach more people while staying at home. Are you with me? So that means if only you will open your eyes, your heart, your minds even, your spirit even, you will see that there are so many opportunities presented to us. You have to recreate your life if need be, so you could take advantage of this borderless world, or really establish new priorities. Now ask yourself, how are you using your time? How much of your time goes to studying? How much of your time goes to YouTubing? How much of your time goes to watching movies, spending time with family, with sleeping, with eating? If you take a look at your time, then you will see there that you will see what really is what is important to you. Because whatever we put our time into is what we are kind of saying this life is what's important to us. Now you're serious about discovering your talent during this pandemic. You're serious about learning new skills. Then do time blocking. You know what time blocking is? Do a weekly calendar and be ruthless, no? Be serious about achieving those you have said are your priorities for the week. I will tell you, if you keep on doing that on a day-to-day basis, weekly, monthly, you will actually end this year very strong with new skills, new talents that you have discovered for yourself. In the past couple of months, I've discovered that I can become a digital missionary. I don't want videotaping myself. That's the last thing that I want to do. Remember, I'm not a millennial. No, I'm not part of the Generation Z. Millennial lang po ako, no? But then again, I said, this is the world right now. The internet is a good tool for me to reach as many people as possible. Before, I need to travel to go to Manila, to Davao, to Cebu to be able to reach people. Right now, in the comforts of my home, I can reach thousands of people. Now ask yourself, what can you do to make your life count? What can you do so at the end of the day you could say, this was a productive day. This was a fruitful day. This was a good one. I'd like to share with you a Facebook post of a friend of mine in Manila. She's a couturier, no? She makes dresses for actresses, no, like Rufa Gutierrez, no, Mikey Cojuangco. And I saw this in her post last week because we know what happened, right? Not many people are buying dresses right now. Although she owns a dress store, a clothes store in malls in Manila, we know that it's not gaining much customers right now because of the pandemic. All we need are just a few clothes because most of us are staying home. And then I saw this, and she said, wow, I just have to leave my comfort zone to see that there are other things that I can do. She designs clothes for the big stars in the showbiz industry, but found herself selling ube cake, soap, candle, and she said, oh wow, it's really just about being more creative. So the question that I will pose to you now is, how can you be more creative? How can you be more creative in the way you use your time? Discover your talents, and not only discover them, but use them. Now, some of you may be saying, I don't have a talent. Now, that's a lie, because all of us who were born in this world was given talent by our Almighty God. You simply have to keep on discovering them and practicing them. Now, my daughter is 8 years old. If you will check out my Facebook, my name is Vanessa Ocampo, you will see that I will post pictures of my daughter and the many talents. She's just 8 years old. So you can imagine the talent that you may be oozing right now because you may be in your late teens or in your 20s. A young child could be very talented and is actually using it. So there, this pandemic is really a good opportunity for us to discover our hidden talent and not hide them anymore, but really use them. For all you know, a business must be waiting for you, no? You must be in college and earning a lot already because you have used your time well this pandemic and have discovered something really good. Now let me move to the second part of my presentation. So the first part is really more storytelling, which is something that I like to do when I give webinars like this, because if I talk about principles, you will not listen. Now, so that is how I somehow reestablished my priorities and how I changed my goals to make sure that this year will still be very productive. Now, in the next few slides, I will tell you how to reset your goals. I will share with you how you could reset your goals so you could be back on track. Okay? And to do that, I will be sharing with you 4 questions that you might find helpful. And I hope that after this webinar, you will really take time to reflect on these 4 questions. The first question is, what is important to me in the near term? I agree with all of you. It's so difficult to set a long-term goal at this time. Long-term means 5 to 10 years. Short-term could mean a year to 3 years. It's so difficult to set something long-term at this point because we do not know really how long will this pandemic is going to be. But what we could actually do is to focus on the near term. You call these quick wins. In other words, no, if you set short-term goals, those that you feel are really things that you could do, such as really spending time, no, 1-2 more hours a day to study your lesson, or 1 more 2 hours a day to spend time with your family, then what happens is that you win again, and win more. And then one day you will find yourself happy. As mentioned by Sir Ed in his opening remarks, the goal to be happy. And we can only be happy if we give our lives in some meaningful way to others. You call that quick wins. So example of a quick win would be, I'd like to build my leadership skills by taking an online class. Okay? So that is an example. So in other words, no, focus on the near term. Those where you could actually say, I have won here in this area. Second question you ask yourself is this. Many things are out of our control right now. So what the sensible question to ask is, what can I control? So short-term, process-oriented goals, such as I will research 3 graduate programs this week, is something in your control. Or I will network with 4 new people this week, is also something within your control. And what are the other things that you could actually control? Your attitude, your actions, your behavior, how you speak to yourself. Ever since this pandemic came, what have been in your mind? Have you become a negatron or a negastar, that you only utter negative things, that you only talk about the negative things that are happening during this COVID? Or are you a source of positivity to the people around you? It's something that you can control. So you have to determine your locus of control. You have to determine which of your behavior, your attitude, your actions will help you achieve your goals. And when you have identified that, put your energy and effort behind those. So what can I control? The number 3, okay? What's question number 3? What are the actions I can take right now? Because we're talking of the near term, short term, then you have to focus also on doing things that are actionable. What can I do at the moment? No? When things seem overwhelming, you just need to take the very next step possible. Ask yourself, no? What is the very next thing I can do to bring me closer to the goal? This is one question that you could ask yourself right after this webinar. What is one thing that I would like to adjust in my life right now to make sure that in spite of the pandemic, I am little by little closer to my goal? For example, there may be, as I've mentioned a while ago, abilities or skills that you would want to develop, no, as a student. There is a graduate program that you would want to research, or a part-time work that you can do online. No? Those are actionable items that we could actually pursue. Now, the last question is, number 4, how will I be accountable? Now, it's difficult to really set some action steps without being accountable to somebody. One of the most effective ways to staying on track is to create a community of support and accountability. You tell a few trusted friends or a few trusted teachers or classmates about your plans. Ask them to even check in with you for your progress. It will compel you to make progress that you can report. You may want to make a mentor board of directors. Wow, ang sarap pakinggan, ano? Ibig sabihin lang yan, find somebody to support, no, what you want to do, so that you could actually really progress. You can gather trusted teachers or friends, no, that could help you or could provide you some solid guidelines. This pandemic, as I've mentioned a while ago, is a time to really reinvent ourselves. And by reinventing, we might actually see and discover the many hidden talent that was there all along. And those talents or skills are actually be the one that will move us to reach our goals. I'm about to end. I'd like to share with you these last two slides. I hope that you are inspired in one way or another to still set yourself up for success. What is happening right now, although we do not know when this will end, is still temporary. Because as we know, the world is changing, nothing is permanent. Continue to do planning. Some said, no, there's no room for planning anymore. You see what happened? We didn't know COVID is gonna come. If we did not plan, if we're not good at handling, say, our finances or our schedule, then our lives will be in disarray, no? Disordered lives. We can still plan, we can still prepare. And let's focus on the quick wins, because one day, these little wins will bring us to that big success that we are hoping for in the long term. Last slide that I want to leave with you. This is very familiar, something that you will definitely remember after this webinar. According to Jim Rohn, he said, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. This pandemic is not an excuse for us not to reach our goals. There is a way if there's a will. So there, we have to really come before the Lord, ask God, how do you want me to proceed with my life, considering all the challenges, and give me the will and the spirit to make sure that in spite of all the struggles and the trials, I will continue to win in this battle called life. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. Good afternoon, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vanessa Ocampo, for that wonderful input. No? So I hope, you, dear aerospacers, you were able to as well absorb everything. No? So it's so simple. So why do we need to set the goals? So by clearly defining their goals and, of course, setting sharp all those things, no? To start personal, to set personal goals. So what do you think, Diane?
Yes,
How do you find the talk?
Truly, ma'am, it is up to ourselves. How are we going to maximize the things offered to us, and how are we going to make the most of it? And it is also important for us to plan new goals, and it is important for us to be reminded that it is a step-by-step process. Right, ma'am?
Yeah, so true. So setting lifetime goals give you the overall perspective that shapes all other aspects of your decision making. So it's never too late, guys, for you to check on yourself, no, on how you're going to reinvent yourself at this time. So you have your plan, so you need to start working on it and achieve these goals. Thank you so much, Miss Vanessa, for that insight. No, so in a little while, we will have our open forum. But before anything else, of course, we will have a sharer, no? And we'd like to call once again our IDRRMU coordinator to introduce our sharer.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Luz. And I hope that our airspacers are still with us this afternoon, and you are ready to listen to a very wonderful sharing for this afternoon. So our sharer is a graduate in Visayas Aerospace College and Technology, associate in aircraft maintenance, and took a leap to pursue bachelor's degree at Indiana Aerospace University and graduated BS Aircraft Maintenance Technology. Now he is a co-founder of HULAG in Indiana Aerospace University and Ilonggo community. So presently, our sharer for this afternoon is working at Singapore Airlines Engineering Philippines in Pampanga. He also serves as a branch leader of Ang Lingkod ng Panginoon in Angeles, Pampanga. And Lingkod ng Panginoon is an international, or also he serves as an international-based community for young working single professionals. So let's all welcome Engineer John Paul Daliva.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Am I clear?
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, Sir John
Yes,
Paul.
thank you. Good afternoon. Can I request, guys?
Yes.
Can I see the students for just like 10 seconds kung andito pa ba sila sa ano natin bago ako mag-share para can you open your video para makita ko naman kung
They open their video, Sir
oo,
Adrian.
kung unsa mo ka view ka gwapo o ka gwapa ba.
Oh, open
Yan,
your video
Yan.
cam.
Don't be shy.
Yes, don't be shy.
Yes.
Oh, hello everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yan, ang gugwapat ng gaganda.
Oh, aerospacers eh.
Yes, mga aerospacers tayo dito. Yan, before I start, guys, allow me to call you, kasi hindi ako sanay, kasi tumatawag kasi ako ng bro and sis. So before I start, I just allow me to call you mga besh, mga bay. So familiar kayo doon? Familiar kayo doon kay besh and kay bay. So yun guys, mga besh, mga bay, before I'm going to start my sharing, allow me to tell you a story. Magsa-story muna tayo. Alam nyo ba na ang eroplano are more safer pag nasa impapawid siya or is flying on the sky than on the ground? We realized that before, after this pandemic, na-realize namin na mas safe ang eroplano pag nasa impapawid siya kesa sa ground. Kasi when it is on the sky, the aircraft is, or the airplane is maintained as in good condition, follow all the procedures. At the same time, all the parts are functioning. But it is in the ground, it is already starting to rust, corrosion, and all the problems because of some part of the aircraft are not working and not exercising. Why I'm telling you this? Because sabi nga kanina ni Sis Vanessa, mga best, mga bay, you are meant to soar high. You're meant to fly. Katulad ng eroplano, katulad ng pinagkatatrabahuan natin, we are meant to soar high. Kaya this pandemic won't stop us to achieve our goals and our dreams in our lives. So, clear pa ako. Clear, hindi ako nawawala. Yon. Okay, I would like to start it, mga best, mga bay. Aviation, pilot, flight steward, aircraft mechanic, or aircraft people. One of the most promising job in the world with competitive salary that everyone aims. Right? Tama ako, no? Lahat tayo ini-aim natin yon. Because of this COVID-19, the worldwide pandemic, the unstoppable industry before now takes its own crisis on how to bring back its normal routine. Hello, my fellow aerospacer. By the way, introduce na kanina, I'm John Paul Daliva and currently based here at Clark, Pampanga. And I work at Singapore Airlines Engineering Philippines, and I would like to share you my battles, failures, and achievement before and now we're about to overcome this pandemic. And syempre, I would like to start it and how I started my aircraft mechanic journey. Are you excited? Okay. My biggest dream is to become a doctor. O, di ba? Connected sa aviation. But because I believe that I can do more and I explore more, isang Ilonggo ang pumunta sa Indiana Aerospace University. I mean, a party university. Kasi nung time ko na nag-aaral ako sa Indiana, sunod-sunod ang party. Ganun pa din ba hanggang ngayon? Madami pa ding party before ng pandemic. If yes, just enjoy. Minsan lang dumarating sa buhay natin ang pagiging estudyante. If no, just still enjoy kasi nakakatipid kayo sa mga allowance. After graduation, I transferred to Metro Manila to take my license and also to look for a job. And oh boy, the competition in the aviation industry is not easy. Hindi basta-basta. Madaming matatalino, madaming magagaling. Manila pa lang, hindi ko na mabilang kung ilang resume na ang pinasa ko sa mga kumpanya na pwede kong pag-applyan. And guess what? Wala ni isa doon ang tumawag sa akin. But because of my persistence and willingness, no rejection can stop me. Sa loob-loob ko, hello, from Indiana Aerospace kaya ito. The biggest aerospace university in Asia with an Olympic-sized swimming pool inside the campus. Wala sa puso natin ang salitang pagsuko. Engineering mechanics nga hindi ko sinukuan ang pag-a-apply pa kaya. Hanggat may mga paang nakakapaglakad, kamay na nakakagalaw, utak na nakakapag-isip, at syempre sa Lord na parati kong kasama, I can do all things behind my capacity para mapaunlad ang sarili ko. Ganon din sana kayo mga besh, mga bay. September 5, 2014, I joined Singapore Airlines Engineering Philippines, their maintenance training program or what they called MTP. Kung saan, sasahod ka, mag-aaral ka lang. Ayaw nyo ba nun? Mag-aaral ka lang, may sahod ka. At first, akala ko parang college lang siya. Aral sa umaga or night out sa gabi. But boy, hindi ko pala alam yung pinapasok ko. Dahil ang gagawin ko, mag-aaral ng mag-aaral ng mag-aaral. Yung umaga, madaling araw, at pati weekend mag-aaral. Wala pala yung party-party sa gabi na hinahanap ko. Kasi you only have 3 chances to fail your exam. And after failing the 3 chances, goodbye SAIP career. And I would like to show you kung gaano kakapal yung manual ng isang manual na meron kami. Kita niyo ba siya? Ito yung manual namin sa SAIP. Ito yung mga subject na kinukuha namin. So sometimes it's about 400 pages to 500. Pinakamanipis na dito is about 200 pages. Ganito siya yung manual na example namin. And you need to study that sometimes 4 days, 3 days yung pinaka-worst kung talagang nagmamadali matapos yung subject. And you have idea kung minsan kung kailan yung exam. Depende sa trip ng instructor mo kung mag-exam kayo or hindi. Basta't wala kang idea kung minsan na mag-exam na pala. Pero sometimes meron din. But you need to prepare. You need to stand on your ground. You don't need to let your guard down para makapasa ka. Kasi pag bumagsak ka, while nag-review ka, you're in your exam, they will not adjust for you. Kailangan mong pagsabayin ang nabagsak mong subject habang pinag-aaralan mo ang bagong subject mo. So kung 400 pages yung isa, 300 pages yung isa, so 700 pages yung pag-aaralan mo in just 3 or 4 days. Sa SAIP kasi, they don't need loser. They need the best, ganyan katindi. The competition in aviation, you need to equip yourself to stay on track para kang pumasok sa PMA ng aviation. Just imagine, after training, almost 30 inches ang taas ng manual ng mga binasa ko. Binasa namin as mga trainee. And masasabi nga namin, siguro kung ginawa namin to, nung nag-aaral pa kami sa college, malamang gumraduate kaming cum laude. Pero hindi nangyari yon kasi hindi naman ganun yung pag-aaral namin dati. After graduation, I realized all those difficulties, failures. Bakit failures? Naubos ko lang naman po ang mga chances ko sa training sa sobrang hirap. Isang bagsak na lang ako at matatanggal na ako and goodbye SAIP career. But because from Indiana ito, retreat is not my option. I'll take those challenges to go on and to move forward in life. Those sleepless nights that helps me to practice my numerous night out after ng training na ginawa ko, yung pumasok ka lang sa training and Cobra Energy drink na lang ang nagpapagising sa'yo. And nga pala, 6 months namin ginagawa ang training, yung theoretical namin sa SAIP, and 6 months din yung aming ground para OJT sa aming operation. And lahat yon worth it kasi it's helped me to bring the best version of me and understand that life is not easy. If you have dreams, you need to work on it. You need to invest time, effort, and skills. And well, syempre, pag sasabayan mo siya ng dasal and that your plan will align to the plan of the Lord para kahit anong hirap or pandemic man yan, basta't andyan ka nilagay ng Panginoon, magiging matagumpay ka. Today, I'm very proud to say that I am very happy where I am right now. Hindi man ako kasing successful ng iba, ang importante masaya akong sa mga naabot ko. Yes, there is still room for improvement, Basta ang importante, I work on it. Ganun din sana kayo mga best mga bay. Life won't stop because of this pandemic. We need to learn to move forward. Don't stop asking why this thing's happening. Instead, ask yourself, how or what are your dreams? How I'm able to achieve my dreams. Don't just spend your time on playing online games. Be productive. You have so much time to think. Remember that you have a dream to work on. You have a dream to move forward. You don't just to be a parrot in life. Be an eagle. A parrot talks away too much but can fly high. But an eagle is a silent type and has a willpower to touch the sky. Kaya sana maging eagle tayo. Huwag lang tayo basta parrot. And before I end, mga best mga bay, I would like to share also before this pandemic, I have a lots of plan about my goals and my journey, even buying house and car. By the way, hiker din po ako. Nag-hike din, nagtitrek po ako sa iba-ibang mga bundok. Last 2019, I was able to hike 13 mountains. Pero ngayong taon, dahil nagkaroon ng pandemic, isa lang. Nung last week lang sa Mount Arayat. Pero it won't stop us. So yun, I'm also planning to buy car and house before this pandemic. But yun nga, if it is not the plan of the Lord, if your plan is not aligned for the plan of the Lord, if it's not yet the right time, be positive, be thankful, because the Lord has enough time preparing you to achieve your dreams. Just don't stop dreaming and pursuing your goals that someday you will enjoying your victories. This pandemic can stop you nor can stop what the Lord prepared for you. Remember that the best wine offered for a feast is fermented by time, not by the glimpse of your eyes. Kaya lahat yan pinagtsatsagaan at pinagpupursigihan. Kaya huwag kakalimutan mga best mga bay, maniwala sa sarili, mangarap, maging positibo, magpursige at higit sa lahat huwag kalimutang magpasalamat at magdasal sa Diyos. Maraming salamat and see you sa ating pagbalik sa ating aviation industry. Maraming salamat.
Thank you for that inspiring and motivating sharing. Very motivating sharing, Engineer John Daliva. So it is important, no, that we are reminded na this life is not a race. It is important to keep going and pursuing our goals, and that there may be failures along the way, no, in achieving our goals, but that doesn't mean we have to stop. Di ba, Ma'am Luz?
Yes, all right, Diane. Your goals also help you align your focus and, of course, promote a sense of self-mastery. And in the end, if you cannot manage it, what you don't measure, and you cannot improve upon something, so just set the goals right, and it can help you do all of what and more. So that is what Engineer John Paul Daliva did, no? So he never makes it an obstacle, all those problems he encountered, but he continues to move through life like an eagle.
Okay, we will go ahead and save some time for questions now. So just a reminder, please be sure to type your questions in the chat box, no, in the chat box in your control panel.
Yes, do you have any questions? Can you feel free to chat, no, so that we can read it, and our dear motivational speaker is still here for you to clarify your questions.
Also for our Facebook viewers, Ma'am Luz, perhaps you may want to chat it in the comment section.
Oh, sige. All right. So is there someone watching the chat box in the comment section of Facebook?
Ako, ma'am.
Okay. May question ba dyan? So for those who are watching over at the IAU page, so if you have any questions regarding the talk, any clarifications on how you're going to set your goals, so feel free to put your comments there in our FB Live, in our post. And
Okay.
our, of course, speaker and our sharer very much willing as well to add on or to clarify more things if ever you have questions, no? So we are not all like perfect na. We can say that we are already on the verge of like planning all our goals, no? And so we need to, of course, live more about asking on how we're gonna set up the goals. So may question ka na ba dyan, Dayan?
Okay, I will be the one to ask the question na lang to Ma'am Vanessa.
Okay.
Okay. Ma'am, how are you going to motivate us students, especially those who are in the aviation field? Because right now, di ba, medyo down talaga sila. So what can you advise to them to keep going? Ma'am, I think you're muted.
Okay, thank you, Diane, for that question. As I've mentioned in my presentation a while ago, nothing is permanent. Where we are right now is temporary. It's just that we do not know when. So the perfect motivation to self right now is to learn new skills or perfect the skills that were already there that we think will be useful in our future career. So now is in fact a good time to really do a self-reflection to see where our weaknesses and strengths are. So the weakness, this is the time for us to do something about that. So when things go back to normal, we are all a better version of ourselves. So what we should always tell ourselves is that really this is nothing permanent. One day, although it may not be in the near future, we simply have to focus on the here and now and see how we can live our life in the best way possible, considering our current reality and situation now. This too is gonna pass and all shall be well for all of us.
Thank you for that, Ma'am Vanessa.
You're welcome, Diane.
We have one question, Engineer John, from the Facebook Live. So may question po, how many subjects po yung pinag-aralan mo po para mapasa ang MTP sa SHAEP?
Grabe. Addictive pala ito. It's almost 15. 15 subjects siya. Kung minsan may mga additional siya, depende din sa kung ano yung mga trade na makukuha nyo. So, it's almost 15 to 18 subject. So, ganun siya na, yun doon siya tumatakbo. And hindi po siya subject na yung English, math, hindi po siya ganun. It's all about aircraft systems. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Anyone from the Zoom participants, do you have any questions? You may type it here in the chat, and then our speakers will answer it for you. Don't be shy.
There's no question also in the comment section of the Facebook chat, in the Facebook Live. So maybe at your end, there is a question still, Diane.
Follow-up question, Engineer John. Specific aircraft po ba siya? Like per subject is like A320 yung rating niya, or is there a specific aircraft na related po yung subject?
Yes po, it's the level 2. So you have sometimes a subject for 320 and sometimes they're going to mix it with 737 and also the 330. But if you're going to pursue on the level 3, it's going to be a 320 or a 70. It's depend on the available training course will be given to you.
Thank you po.
I guess we have a question here in our from our Zoom participant from Yaka Taloto. I'm still struggling to set up my goals, honestly. I still don't know what I really wanted to do. I always think about it, but I still can't seem to find an answer to it. Is there any tips or advice that you can give? So I guess this is for Ma'am Vanessa.
All right. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Miaka, for that question. She was actually the winner a while ago. So Miss Lotlot, you have to give her a prize, ha?
Yes, I will. She's my student.
Oh, okay. All right. Miyaka, no, I do not know what year level you are right now. Maybe you could give me a little bit of background, her course,
She's in first year right now. I
first
think
year college.
yeah, first year college.
All right. I do career planning. In my career planning sessions, I always tell the students to consider 5 factors when setting up a plan or a goal. The first factor that you have to consider is your personality. Our personality is not an accident that we are introvert or extrovert. It has a purpose why we were given that personality. It's like a stamp from God. It's a gift that was given to us. So some are introvert, some are extrovert. When you set up a goal or a plan for yourself, you might want to consider your personality. And there are many tools that you can use actually. One is the MBTI or the Myers-Briggs and Tigger, which I think is available in Google. So during your free time, you have a lot of free time right now, you could actually check that out, and there you will see a career match for your type of personality. That's one tool you could use. Second factor that you have to consider is your values. So you ask yourself, in this pandemic is actually a good time to really ask ourselves, what are you, what are the things that are important to you? And that your answer to that could actually lead to a goal or a plan that you could do for yourself. So you consider your values. Third, you consider your strong interests. No, by interests, the things that you like doing, the things that you are good at. No, are you good at singing? Are in crafts, etc. Because somehow that giftedness will point you to your purpose. And then fourth, the skills you built throughout the years. And lastly, your attitude, no? I like what John Paul said a while ago, no? Stop being really focusing on what's the negative things that's happening around us. Instead, let's be proactive and take action. And that speaks a lot about the kind of attitude that we will bring into this life, either good or bad attitude. So those are the 5 things that you might want to consider as you set your goal. Your personality, your values, your attitude, your skills, and your interests. So there, that's a tip that I can give to you, Miyaka.
Thank you, Ma'am Vanessa. So I hope your question was answered, Miss Miyaka. We have another question here. I think this is for Engineer John. So, Engineer, in achieving your goal, sir, what are the struggles or challenges that you faced before you achieved your goals?
Ay, madami. Madami akong mga mga naging struggles before ako na-achieve yung goals ko. Kasi nga before ako pumunta dito din sa Pampanga, I started also trying to apply there in Manila. Nag-try ako mag-apply sa Manila. Tapos kasi madami talagang the competition is really high pagdating sa aviation. So may mga instead pa nga na dumarating na, kasi nung tinawagan ako ng SAEP, late akong tinawagan. So unang tinawagan yung mga kaibigan ko. And also it's a great big disappointment sa akin kasi parang bakit yung mga kaibigan ko nauna kong nagpasa, nauna silang tinawagan, tapos huli akong tinawagan. And yun, naging disappointment din sa akin yan. But sooner I realized na talagang piniprepare ka dun sa mga bagay na para talaga sa'yo. And sabi ko nga kanina, if you have your goals, you have your plans, kahit na ano pa yung disappointment na yan, kahit ilan pa sila, basta't alam mong diretso yung lalakarin mo, tuloy-tuloy kang makakarating doon. walang mga disappointment o failures ang makakapigil sa iyo doon. Kasi your dreams, no one can do that. Walang ibang gagawa yan kundi ikaw lang. Ikaw at ikaw lang at yung kung ano yung plano sa ng Panginoon. Hindi ako ang makakatulong sa iyo sa pag-abot mo ng pangarap. Magiging instrumento kami, pero when you're achieving your dreams, ikaw at ikaw ang magtatrabaho niyan para sa sarili mo. Katuwang yung mga tao sa paligid mo.
Thank you, Engineer. Just before we proceed with the next question, Diane, we also have a follow-up question from the Facebook Live. This is going to be addressed to you, Engineer. Follow-up question, malaki po ba yung chance na makuha sa MTP if ever meron na pong level 1 training na nakuha sa isang specific aircraft? Or kailangan po bang mataas na work experience sa general aviation?
Ang pinakamagandang part sa MTP ng SAEP, you didn't need to have taas na experience. As long as graduate ka, may TOR ka, may diploma ka, you're able to pass the entrance exam, yun na yun. Pero ang tanging babaunin mo doon is talagang mag-aaral ka. So, kung iisipin mo pag nakapasok na ako at saka na ako mag-aaral, pwede yun. Pero mas maganda na since you know it earlier na ganun pala yung papasukin niyo, you need to try it na as early as you can. Walang ibang requirements na kinakailangan. Kahit lisensya, hindi mo kailangan pag pumasok ka sa SAEP. All you need to do is you need to work hard for you to study and yun yung magiging sandata mo para makapagtapos ka sa training.
Thank you, Engineer. Diane?
Yes, sir. We have another question here. I think this is for Ma'am Vanessa from Donabel Ke. Her question is, why is it so hard for me to stay motivated?
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Good afternoon, Donabel. That question is really real. No, the struggle is real. It takes a lot of effort to really stay motivated. If you have a goal, as I've mentioned in my talk, it's good to get a mentor. You don't do it alone. You have to be accountable to somebody. Because if you're not accountable to somebody, it's just a personal goal that you set for yourself. Then when time comes, when you are not inspired to do it, you will just stop doing it. To just give you a very concrete example, with a few friends this pandemic, because really you can't go out, we registered to a virtual run in takbo.ph. Some of them registered for 50 kilometers. I know I can do 21 kilometers only. So I registered for 21 km because it was a group of people who subscribed, who registered to that virtual run. We were cheering on each other as we try to hit our goal of 50 kilometers or 21 km. At a certain point, I wanted to stop and not just finish my goal to do 21 km. But because I know I am doing it with other people, somehow I am accountable with them. I don't want the feeling that they will all get to reach their goal and I was not able to reach mine. So that is why it's always important to make yourself accountable to somebody else, especially when you are serious about your goal. Also, you have to plot your progress. So say, this is your goal, you have to track your progress, because if you don't, then there's nothing to motivate you, because you might feel you're not moving forward at all. And when you have reached it or about to reach it, reward yourself. So next time you have a goal, you will have a reason to motivate yourself, because you know at the end of the day you get rewarded, even if the reward will actually just come from you. Say enrolling in an online class. At the end of the day, if you finish that course, that online course, what is the reward that you get for yourself? New learning, no? New knowledge, and the best investment of our time is actually knowledge, no? So gaining new knowledge is something that pays the best interest. And lastly, self-discipline. If you really want something, you're serious about your goal. And I think Engineer John Paul mentioned it in his sharing a while ago. You have to be really serious about wanting something. So self-discipline is key. So even if you want to do other things such as gaming and social networking, then you will have to decide and say, I'll only allocate a few hours here because there is this more important task that I need to do that also needs my attention and time. So there, accountability, don't do it alone. You plot your progress, reward yourself, and self-discipline.
Ayun, to add also dun sa sinabi kanina ni Sis Vanessa, to add also kasi parang mahirap nga naman talagang maging motivated ka each and every day. Tapos one of my mentor told me na mahirap pag sabi mo sa sarili mo na I need to be faithful for 2021 for the entire year. Magiging mahirap sa part mo. Sabi niya, pinaka-secret para maging motivated ka or maging faithful ka, you need to tell to yourself na I need to be faithful today and I need to be faithful tomorrow. So after tomorrow, you need to be faithful in another day. Each and every day, you need to be motivated and need to be faithful to yourself and you know your goals and your dreams. Matatapos yung taon na ma-achieve at ma-achieve mo siya. That's all.
Thank you for that, Ma'am Vanessa and Engineer Paul. We have another question for you, Engineer. So it is a question from Lamar. Engineer, sir, how to get the license degree of aerospace engineering? Was it hard, sir?
You, again po.
How to get the license degree of aerospace engineer? Was it hard, sir?
Aerospace engineer ito.
Yes, aerospace engineering.
Wala namang mahirap kung may kagustuhan eh. Yun, wala namang, kasi lahat naman talaga mahirap. Lahat naman ng pwede mong gawin mahirap. Pero kung may kagustuhan ka talaga, kahit anong hirap yan, magagawa at pagagawan mo talaga ng paraan yan. Yun lang, yun yung pinakasagot doon. Mahirap siya, pero hindi siya magiging mahirap kung talagang gusto mo siya at porsigido kang gawin siya.
So, yun, wala talagang mahirap if you're really gonna do something, no? So, to ensure your path on a success, you really need to realize which goals are actually important to getting where you want to go. And then you align your goal with your end game and ensure you can reach the pinnacle of success that you have set for yourself. Diba, Raya?
Yes, ma'am.
And yes, and we still have a question here from Ken. I think this is addressed to Ms. Vanessa. Can you give us more understanding about making your failure as motivation in setting your goals?
That's a very interesting question. Thank you, Lot. Thank you, Ken, for that question. Well, first of all, let me tell you, Ken, failure is a prerequisite to great success. The most successful people we know actually came from big failure. A good example would be maybe many of you already know the story of the owner of McDonald's. No? He was 51 when he had the chance to really build an empire. Another good example will be Michael Jordan. When he was in high school or maybe in grade school, a teacher was already saying that he's not gonna be a good basketball player, but he became the best basketball player of our age. Another example would be Walt Disney. When he submitted his first cartoon, the local newspaper in his area said, "You're not qualified to do anything good." If that words of discouragement stopped him to pursue his talent in drawing, then we would not have Disney now. We wouldn't have Frozen. We would not have Disneyland if it stopped him. So failure is a prerequisite for great success. Now, how do we use our failure to set or even achieve our goals? First, you have to take time to really know the reason why you failed. You just don't move on right away to the next project or next task. First, you analyze what went wrong there, and then what was the good thing that happened there. And then when you are ready, move on to the next goal. This time, you should have learned from the mistakes that you did from the first failure that you had, so that you will make sure you're not going to do the same mistakes again in this next new goal that you have for yourself. But if you keep on failing, you just keep on standing. That's the beauty of life. As long as we are breathing, there is hope for all of us. As long as there is hope, then there is a possibility really to achieve our dreams. So let not your failure stop you from achieving your goals.
Thank you so much, Miss Van. And I think you already answered the questions. And there's a follow-up, but for me, you already said the thought of it. How can we get up if ever we failed on the goals we set to the point that we became depressed by it?
Okay. It's natural to feel sad about a failure, because we are human beings, we have emotions, but let us not allow our emotions to rule our lives. Emotion is just an aspect of our lives. So if something is not doing well in your life, you try to imagine your life and see the many areas in your life, such as your relationships, your family, your studies, your teachers, for example. You count your blessings. Maybe you'll find out by doing so that this one thing where you failed is really just a fraction and not the totality of your being. No? But if really it was something that caused you depression, you have to leave time and room for you to heal. It's good to talk to people also that you trust, no? An advisor maybe, so that you would be able to honestly share what you are going through. Because when one is depressed, it's really so hard doing it all alone by yourself. You definitely would need the help of someone else. So get help. Get help. Get healing. When you are healed, then be ready to move again.
Yeah. So rise up and shine, no? Because you have already created your goals or what is generally right for you. Okay, so I think we still have a question regarding talent. What if I have a talent, just for example, I want to use it, but there are people around me who say motivational words, or shall I say encouraging words, but when I turn my back, I hear the opposite. I am even more discouraged. And what should I think or do with whatever ability I have?
That's a very good question. Well, first, surround yourself with people who truly value you. Because at the end of the day, other people will always have an opinion. They will always have something to say. So that is why it is good to have a healthy knowledge of ourselves. Normally, I'll tell students I work with, you ask yourself on a deeper level, who am I? It's not answerable by your name or even by what you simply like. But who am I? See, it really means going deep, no? What really are your values? What really are important to you? What are your God-given gifts? Now, there are many tools that you could use, no? And most of them are actually even again available in Google, where you get to find your strengths, no? There's strength finder, there's discovering your talent. You simply just have to answer some of these, or even online, no? I have to answer a multiple question type of a questionnaire, where at the end of the quiz, you get the things you are most inclined doing, meaning those are your strong interests, those are your talents. Now, when you have discovered, really put time to develop your gift. How do you develop it? You have to use it. Until one day you realize, no, I really have giftedness here, so I will pursue this. Or you will realize, well, I just thought I have a gift here, but it's actually in fact, a weakness even, no? So scrap that out. What's good about you, students, are you are young. You could experiment with your giftedness because time is in your hands. Look at us, or look at me even, I'm older, but I continue to experiment and try to discover what talents I have, no? My daughter, what I make her do every day is to dance. I tell her, I can see that you dance well, your body is flexible. How about we put 15-20 minutes every day for you to exercise, and that will be in a form of dancing. So she's now 8, and if you see her dance, well, not because she's my daughter, but many are saying she's really good, no? And I saw she's good at craft, I make it a point that each day she spends another 15 minutes, 20 minutes doing crafts, doing arts. So you have to really put time and effort to discover and to hone your talent. There.
And so it is clear. So you really need to put time, no? And kumbaga, understanding yourself is of course the first step toward and identifying the right goals for you. So until you know what drives you, so it's hard to drive yourself in the best direction. So it is very clear now that what Miss Vanessa has said, that you should know where to go and ask yourself why you want this and what you will achieve and what challenges you will face along the way. So know your talent, okay? So may isang question dito, Ate Vance. Any tips sa mga di pa alam kung ano ang gusto?
Sana naman ang nagtanong nito, hindi 50 years old na tulad ko.
Oo nga, no?
It's natural, no? For students nowadays, no, because of the many choices presented to us, sometimes we do not know anymore what we like. It's still good to get guidance from our parents. Now, if you're not comfortable opening up with your parents, no, with a mother or with your mother or your father, then go to one of your teachers in school, one that you trust, no, and ask, no, honestly, teacher, teach. Ganyan na yung mga tawagan ngayon, teach. Ma'am, sir, I'm in a crossroad of my life right now. I don't really know what to do with my life. I don't know what I want in life. Can you help me here? Again, we can never be lone rangers. This life is meant to be lived with others. So don't think that you have heard this, no man is an island. Don't think that you will get enlightenment by yourself all alone, no? So if you are at that crossroad right now, get some help. Seek direction, no, from the people who know you. And then at the end of the day, gather all this. At the end of the day, you are the only person who could actually answer and say, oh, interestingly, this is what I like. Try to pursue that. If it doesn't work out, then go ahead and introspect, gather information again until you will be led to that point where you have found your life's calling. To just give you some consolation, I have found my life's calling when I was 31 years old. I was a banker for 10 years. After having been in the bank, it was a well-paying job. No, I'm doing well in my career. but I found there was something missing. And there, with much courage, I tried to reinvent and to pursue new opportunities that came along my way until I found my calling now. So don't worry, you are normal, no? The one who asked that question, do not despair, don't even be depressed, and ask help so you can be guided by those who know better. There, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Very well said, Ate Van. So just keep motivated lang, guys, no? So meron pa bang question dyan, Dayan?
I
Or
guess
Sir Adrian?
Luis, do we have a question? Also, this is addressed to Engineer John Paul. Ano daw po yung ginawa nyo nung nag-apply sa SHIAP? Like, perhaps siguro po nung step, siguro, or like, did you take the exam sa Clark po ba, or kailan po? Kailan po?
First and foremost, before ka mag-apply ng SHIAP, you need to make sure also that you have good grades. Isa din siya sa tinitingnan pag pumasok ka ng SHIAP. You need to have good grades. So, bago mo makuha yung good grades na yon, you need to study. Ngayon, kailangan mo talagang mag-aral. Kasi, sabi ko nga kanina, the competition is not easy. To give you ideas, kami nung nag-start kami, kasi batch 12 ako ng SHIAP eh. Batch 12 ako. Tapos, nag-start kami, ang nag-apply for our batch is almost 1,500 plus. So, ang kinuha lang doon sa 1,500 plus is 30 persons. So, we're going to undergo exam and interview. So, kaya nga sabi ko, you need to study first bago mo makuha yan. At pag feel mo na equipped ka na, you have this guts, meron ka ng meron ka ng mga ideas. Not necessary na kinakailangan maraming ideas. Yung basic kasi dito yung yung pag nag-entrance exam ka, hindi naman siya yung parang sobrang hirap. Nagiging mahirap lang siya kung wala ka talagang ideas. Kasi more on, ang basic entrance exams kasi ng SHIAP is more on just math, English, and theoretical mga basic English, basic math, basic hydraulics, and sometimes flight controls. Mga madadali lang siya kung talagang nag-aaral ka. It's very easy for you to answer those questions pag talagang nagpursige ka. So yun, mag-exam ka lang, you can just send your resume to the HR of the SIAP and they're going to bibigyan ka nila ng schedule kung kailan ka pwede mag-exam. And yun, pag napasa mo, yung entrance exam na parang at pagkakaalam ko 50 items lang ata yung exam. So pag napasa mo, you need to secure for an interview. Pag napasa mo yon, so yun na. You have the chance to prove yourself to be part of SIAP family.
Thank you po, Engineer.
Thank you, Engineer John Paul. So I hope you aerospacers are inspired to pursue well your career in the aviation field. So everything should be step by step, no? So kailangan may goal ka lang talaga. What is your goal in mind so that you can really pursue your dreams, no? So ilang ulit rin binalik-balik that you need to seek out really social support, no? Aside from, of course, knowing our interests. So you don't necessarily always know those things, but we really have to seek out social support so that they can bring out as well help to us in making decision. Okay, so Dayan, do you still have question there?
I think there are no questions na here sa Zoom, ma'am. So
to add also pala doon sa mga students, to be inspired you also guys. Para ma-idea din kayo, when you will be here in SIAP and pag sinabi mong you are from Indiana, the team of Indiana or Ilonggo and Cebuano here will going to support you for how many times ata? For 5 times na ata na nag-top yung Indiana sa maintenance training program ng SIAP. So, bawat batches yun, may mga nagtatap doon. So, I think for how many consecutive years, consecutive batches na nasunod-sunod yung Indiana ang nagtatap. So, kinakailangan yung dalhin ng ating watawat. Indiana ito.
Hindi, magaling talaga ang mga
Magaling talagang aerospacers because we give you wings to fly.
to fly.
Thank you so much, Engineer